everyone, welcome back to Data Over Coffee, where Ramon and I discuss different topics related to data and things around data, new technologies coming up, new tools. Ramon will discuss what skills are more important when you're in a data analyst role and what are the new upcoming technologies or tools that might be helpful for you, for which you might need to learn new skills. As we know, we want to keep learning to be relevant in the role, and I guess that is one thing that I personally do myself. I every now and then I go on LinkedIn Learning, maybe pick up a few courses and or any other course providers, so that all my skills that I learned way back, I can refresh them, and if my role requires new skill, then I can learn that as well. So we'll look into that in today's episode, where Ramon will be sharing his key insights and his knowledge on what the skills are that we need to learn in 2026 to be relevant in the market. But before we jump into that, we'll welcome Ramon. Hey Ramon, how are you? How have you been?
Hey Arjun, thank you. Has been good. It's been a good week so far. Good. We're still in summer here in New Zealand, so has been really good. And funny thing is, like, we never agree which tea we'll be using, but most of the time we match in color. I don't know how we do that.
Yeah,
it's crazy that now you are.
Yeah, it's just, I think we our brain is wired and connected, and it just happens.
Nice. And also I just met Arjun's wife, and she was saying, like, even though that we speak, it's funny because it's same with my wife, that we speak those podcast episode and we think that it's relevant for everyone, but actually it's just relevant for the people who loves technology, and this is us. So if you listen this, thank you for listening, and just thank you just to be in the data worlds. That we understand that it's not for everyone, but we try to simplify it in the way that everyone can grasp it, and also everyone can understand and have some fun with it, because this is what we do at the end of the day. We do this, like, for us, we normally record on Saturdays, and we wake up early in the morning on Saturdays to record those podcasts for you. So it's something that we really love, and we would like to keep doing it. So just want to highlight that.
And waking up early on Saturdays is sometimes very difficult. So thank you for everyone who listens to this podcast. You are the reason why we are doing this. But let's jump into the topic for today, which is
of course,
the skills that are relevant and new in 2026, and what should people look for when they want to learn a new skill related to data analysis.
This is an interesting topic, because always in technology we're feeling that we feel that we are being left behind, because there are so many technology coming up. With AI revolution, there has been even more stuff that we're getting crazy with all the information out there. And so, because I have a company, as you know, Excel and BI, and from I do learning courses and training material, and I also support companies and people who would like to get farther in their data careers. And my mission in this company is to help people to do more with their data. So, full stop. How can I help people to make more with their data? And one of the things, like, that I hear that a lot of within the years is, like, I getting problems to find a job. In the other side, I getting problem to hire people, because they doesn't have the right skill to help me in the work that I'm doing. So as you can see, there are the two sides. And some time ago, I did a webinar to analyzing what's going on in the job market. And we say, like, there are many things that we cannot do, but there are certain things that we can do. So we tend to focus on the things that we could do. So that video is on my YouTube channel if you want to check. But it's something that always interests me, is, like, how can I help more the people to get more into this? So I jump into I did a research recently, and I investigate. I went through one of the most important websites in New Zealand, which is called Seek. I use Seek
Yeah.
because there are certain roles that doesn't get published on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
For example, New Zealand companies, medium or small, they still highly reliant on Seek, which is
Yes.
something that has been like that. And this is what surprised me, that there are certain things that you find jobs in Seek, but they are not on LinkedIn, and
Not
the
on
other
LinkedIn.
way around as well.
Yeah.
So you need to check everything. So just a quick parenthesis, there's an app called GoBear.me.
GoBear.me.
Go Bear, like the animal, Go Bear. The
BEAR.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
like the
GoBear
animal.
dot
.me.
me.
Me,
Okay.
yes,
GoBear.me. I'll
which
note
is
it down. Yeah.
a great app that has been launched recently. I know
Yeah.
the founder, and I'm super proud that it's New Zealand. Even though that I
Okay.
haven't contributed anything to that to that app, I'm proud that it's New Zealand. But the
Yeah.
things they look for, you upload your CV,
Yeah.
and if you pay the subscription, or even in the free plan, you need to check on that. You can they do a research for you, so they go to every single place and they bring
Yeah.
you jobs that can fit you. It's not like a filter in LinkedIn. It does
Yeah.
some stuff. But I just want to say, if you're looking for a job, probably could be a good tool to use. Go peer.me. But
That's nice.
apart from, yeah, it's a really cool tool, and I found it quite good. And it has a lot of AI features. But you jump on there
So
and then
so it basically analyzes your profile and then looks at the roles that perfectly match your profile and only returns those roles to you as output. It doesn't, like, it's not a filter. It's
It's not a filter. It's a
right.
AI, and it reads
Nice.
the description, and also that now they launch a Chrome extension. Well, I
Oh
will
wow.
after this call,
Yeah.
after this podcast, I will check with the guys if they can give it to us some discount or something for our listeners, so
Yeah. Yeah.
that it can also help them to get some discount, or probably at least try it out, the app. I find it just cool. I find it. I don't have any agreement with them, but I
Yeah.
just want to say that it's a really cool tool that can help you, because it's farther than that. But
Yeah.
not stopping on the skills. I just want to say, like, the market change constantly, and the things that company are looking for is constantly. But
Hmm.
I found certain skills that remain, especially for data analyst.
Yeah.
And these are the skills that sometimes it feels that they are too basic to create courses of that.
Mm.
But it feels like there's a tool that is still coming back. For example, the top. And which one do you say that is the top skill for data analyst nowadays?
Uh, I think the top will. So there are some evergreen skills that will always remain at the top, and I guess
Yeah.
um, writing SQL queries and data modeling would be a few of those that will always be required for a data analyst's role.
Yeah.
But I think if I look at the latest ones, maybe working with AI or agents, knowledge about how to build agentic flows, I guess those can be the top skills that are now being looked for by the companies, because most
Mhm.
of the companies are adopting that agentic models, and they require their data analysts to be um, capable of
Mhm.
working in those workflows. What do you
I,
think?
I, you're no. After the research that I did, I actually found that SQL is one of the tops. I
Yeah.
think they are the foundations of
Mm.
the data analyst, but then on top you have things like nice to have. You know, a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of agentics, a bit of
Exactly.
artificial intelligence. So that builds on top,
Yeah.
but you need to get the foundations right. And the
Correct.
must-haves nowadays is Excel Advanced.
Excel.
Something
Wow.
Excel Advanced is like
Yeah.
be able to
Mm.
troubleshoot all the spreadsheets that have been sitting in the company for years, and
Yeah.
then translated them into automation and different things. But to be able to do that, you need to have proficiency in
Correct.
Excel. And
100%.
so,
Yes.
as data analyst, we say it's too basic. We just jump over. but then you
Yeah.
sit next to an accountant and you see how
Yeah.
fast they move around Excel. You see like, oh wow, I need some practice and using
Yeah.
different shortcuts. I just sit
Yeah.
next to a finance specialist the other day,
Yeah.
and then he was showing me Excel sheet. And I seen that he was using commands in the keyboard that I never used before. And
Yeah.
I feel like an Excel guru,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm
But this is
super
something beyond us. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen people they don't even touch their mouse. They fully rely on the keyboard
Everything on
and
the
the keyboard
keyboard.
shortcuts. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that is I know a lot of I know a lot about Excel. I know I work on Excel a lot, and in my circle or people I've worked with, I have literally had people calling me Excel guru, but then when I see these people who are like literally tuck 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 tuck, I'm like, this is
It's
way
different.
beyond me. I can't do that.
Probably because we have a sort of like a programming mindset. We
Yeah.
always go in the background and we fix things and do automations. But those people who work more in the front end, sometimes they have skills that we doesn't have. So Excel, advanced Excel is one of the top skills that is still super relevant nowadays for data analysts. And not just because the matter to know Excel, is to understand and to be able to investigate the data sources, how the data gets transformed, how someone used this formula. So it's really important for you to understand. The next one is still SQL. SQL is from the 70s.
Yeah.
And it's so relevant nowadays because Google Cloud, BigQuery use mainly SQL.
Yeah.
You have Azure SQL.
Yeah.
Then you have Snowflake that also use SQL to pull data. So finally, back in the time, SQL became as a standard to pull data from databases. So you make a query and then you pull data from databases.
Yeah.
But within the years, because this is a standard, which is that was the name, is a standard query language. It's even a ISO standard, so you need to
Is
be
it standard
certified.
or structured?
Yeah.
Structured query language.
Extractor, sorry.
Yeah.
Extractor, sorry. Yeah,
Structured,
we'll
yeah.
say. Yeah, good catch, good catch. Yeah, so that is a standard. But then I start to realize the more that I work with SQL, there are certain differentiation between depending on the against to the data that you're pulling. For example, if you're using Google Query, the SQL is slightly different. For example, in SQL for Windows databases, you use select top 10, which will bring the 10
top 10,
the 10
records. Yeah.
records. But however, in Oracle, for example, you need to use at the bottom put limit 10.
Ah, okay.
So it's super similar, but it changes slightly, and sometimes it can play you around the first one you start to work with. But for example, it is like group by having
The
left
clauses
join.
and everything are same. Yeah.
They are so similar, but they have certain differentiation. But the cool thing is that with tools like Python, because I became a SQL lover, now inside of my whole Python code, I add some SQL to pull the data. And so nowadays from Python, you can read a Parquet file, Excel file, and do queries against it. Okay. So they give you, if you have that SQL mindset to create information to pull out, so that maybe could be also an option for you. But sorry, just coming back to the main skill. So at Excel Advanced, SQL, super important to be able to write SQL. More than creating databases and admin databases, SQL is something that can really help you.
Yeah.
The other skills is BI tools or business intelligence tools, which are, for example, Power BI, Google Looker, Tableau.
Yeah.
I think actually in the research, so 50% they ask for Power BI.
Yeah.
And the other tools get split in the next 50%.
Yeah.
So
I think,
Power BI
is
the
still
reason
one is because Power BI is Microsoft, and most organizations have Microsoft Enterprise license. So with that, Power BI also is included in that license, and so it's easier to move things around connect to different Microsoft services or tools. I guess that is the reason why my Power BI became so popular, because of
Yeah.
the platform that was already provided by Microsoft's other tools, and the connectivity and integration between different Microsoft tools. I guess that's, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That is one of the reasons that how embedded is Microsoft in organization. So that's why you can see more Power BI. So we have Excel, SQL, and a BI tool. Then, on the other hand, we have of course, the other one that is coming up is Python. Python is something that it became from, we discussed, we have a episode in Python, but we discuss how important is Python. But if you can see between SQL and Python, the two similarities is there's a multi-platform and they're so flexible. So you can work in Spark with Python, with PySpark. You can go work in Azure notebooks with Python. You can work in Google with Python. So with Python, you can do so many things. And the other cool thing that Python brings is to us to use AI and machine learning functions. So that is the other thing. It's like we have SQL and Python. I will see if you like coding and you like to do a lot of coding. I think this is the must-have nowadays for a data specialist. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
So then we have data communication. Of course, some of them we have discussed already, like storytelling with data. Something that we feel like is still that something that, of course, I know what to do, but I will totally recommend you to do a course or read a book about that. We discussed about the books that you can read about this topic as well in our previous episode.
Data storytelling.
Yes, exactly. And and this is something that it will require practice. But for you, you can start to play with some family business data or something, some data that you can get insights, is to be able to tell what the data is trying to tell us. So sometimes it's so important for us to be able to translate all the spreadsheet that we did in natural language, in a clear language. So it's really important for you to get that exposure, and which is called explaining insights clearly. So just be in mind, as you progress in your career and then you get above the 6 figures, you will start to see that you will need to present what this spreadsheet means, because you cannot go and present a spreadsheet, or you cannot just go and present 3 slides from a dashboard and walk away. So it's really important as a soft skill to be able to read the data. Okay.
I think my approach is that you are not actually presenting the report or the Excel sheet, but you're presenting a story, and the report or Excel sheet are sort of supporting characters to your story. So that way, the focus becomes on what story are you trying to convey, and then the reports and spreadsheets help you convey that story. So they are not the main thing that you want to convey. The main thing that you want to convey is the story. I think, that's you rightly mentioned about how storytelling plays a big role, and that is a skill that is like one of the top ones, and it's very important to have. 100%.
And thank you for adding that, Arjun. And the other skills that because when we study data analytics, we go through learning Python. We go to learn SQL. We go to learn Power BI. I thought that, as I mentioned to you before, I thought that Power BI would be my 100% of the time job, but you need to have spent time on the background. So data cleaning and preparation is something really important. Analytical thinking, that is something that you're not born with, but you can start to practice in it, is that to be able to find the gaps in the data, find those odd spaces, find those odd numbers. That is an analytical skill that it comes to your mind. So every time that you approach a problem, there are certain frameworks actually for that. If you want to approach a problem, you need to see through a certain process. I will share you those frameworks in another session, and get that analytical thinking and say like, okay, the payments from the customer come from this table. This should flow in this direction. why I'm getting just negative numbers here if all of them should be positive, and because
Yeah.
that is why we are not crossing properly the data at the end, and that is why we're
Mm.
getting those numbers wrong in the forecasting. So that kind of analytical thinking is something that you need to get practice and practice.
Right.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
it's not, even though that I make a whole class about that, I think it's something that it won't come right away, unfortunately, but it's something that you need to practice. And we covered data visualization. I have some notes here. So understanding business context. Actually, in our last episode, we spoke about business analysis. So this
Hmm.
is such an important skill. So I
Yeah.
hope that in the podcast, each episode will be covering most of those skills or trying to give you an idea of this, and then you can get more understanding of that. Working with the stakeholders, be able to it's interesting because we discussed this last week, but be able to say no when it's not possible, be able to ask the tough question, be able to
Yeah.
challenge the status quo, so those kind of things. And of course, when we work in the roles of technology, we need to manage ourselves. We need to manage our time. So prioritization is something really good skills that you need to understand. For example, if you have a ton of work, you will need to do the prioritization most of the time, because
Of
sometimes you
course.
won't have a project manager who tells you
Yeah.
every single thing that you need to worry about. So it's really important for you to understand and work with prioritization. I have
Mm.
a the way how I do it, and you can change your one because you are super deliverer. So I would like to hear your skill as well. The thing that I do is like I try. Sometimes I forget it, but every day in the morning, I put the urgent, the important, and the nice to do. So
Nice.
the urgent is something that I must have, and
Mm.
there's no way that it can be more than 2 and 3 pieces,
Mm.
because if it's too big, it means that I won't be able to complete it during the day. So I
Yeah.
only tend to put two things or even one thing in the urgent piece. Then in the important things, of course, my manager asked me about this report. But for example, you could say, actually, this report could wait till tomorrow, so I will focus in the urgent. And
Mm.
then the nice to have is like, I don't know. The nice to have could be send an email of requesting and some feedback about this and that. So that things that can wait. So
Yeah.
in that way, firstly, you put it out the most important things from
Yeah.
the urgent thing from your bucket, and then
Mm.
you start to go underneath. And that also will help you to don't procrastinate that much, because
Yeah.
something we lose the sight
Yeah.
on what is important. And actually doing the nice to have is so much fun, so I just try to leave the urgent till the end of the day,
Yeah.
and then it's 4 p.m. I see like I couldn't make it, so for tomorrow.
Yeah. I
Do
think
you
that
have
reminds me of
any?
yeah, that reminds me of the Moscow technique that I mentioned when we did the business requirements gathering session podcast. So Moscow is, again, I'll give a quick recap, but you can learn more about it when we if you listen to our business requirements episode. Moscow is basically must have, should have, could have, and won't have. This is a requirements gathering prioritization framework, but it can also be applied to anything basically. So you identify what the must haves are or must do in terms of, if you're planning your day, then these are the items or these are the tasks that I must do today. So those becomes your must haves, and should haves or should do are the things that need to be done, but they're not as urgent as the must do ones. Like if I can't do it today, then I'll do it tomorrow and nothing, no harm will be done, right? So those are the should do's. Could do are basically, like you said, nice to haves or nice to do, like it feels good to do them. But then again, this prioritization helps you understand, do you actually have time to do these in your day? If not, then maybe think about postponing them to a different date, or think about, do you actually need to do them or not? And then won't do's are tasks or things that you clearly identify that no, this is not, this is something that I initially thought maybe that needed to be done, but this is actually something that won't be done, or it's not needed actually. So cancel that out or mark it as won't do. So the Moscow technique is something that can be uh, used in real life as well, for prioritizing your day or prioritizing your life, or yeah. So that is something that I try
Yeah,
to do.
is it,
Yeah.
as when we finish the uni, sometimes we are not that familiar with those concepts, but you
Hmm.
will find that within the years that pass, you will see that all the things that you are not doing, it will become a tension in your neck, in your back, in that it will be turning to become a stress. So I think
Yeah.
prioritization, even though that it can look like as a high performance thing, actually is something that will give you breath and
Yeah.
also some calm. So
Yeah.
I want to, and now I would like to discuss with you, Arjun, how was your week? What is the challenges that you faced this week?
So this week was, it was actually good. I Work-wise, it was a little busy because I had a few releases that needed to happen in the last week, and since it was a short week, the time was, because um the at the time of recording, we are in, what week is it? Second week of February. So we have Vaitangi Day, which was yesterday, and the last week also we had uh, public holiday. Um, yeah. So I think, yeah, because of that, the time at work was very tight, and then the releases needed to go. So it was a bit busy there. Out of that, I guess most of my time was spent on working on the app that I mentioned in the last episode. So I've been building that. That is going good. That is what I've been working on recently. I've been spending a lot of time on that. And if you are a founder, or if you are building something of your own, you can understand that it takes a toll. It takes all the time that you can give to that idea. But I think it is important to know that you can take a break. And sometimes when you're working on an idea, I feel like we don't give ourselves permission to take a break from it, and feel like, no, this needs to be done and this must be done, and again, the prioritization. But I guess we should think about um, keeping a balance between how much time we are spending on things that we want to do, and how much time we are spending on the things that we should do, in terms of like spending time with your family, spending time on yourself, maybe, I don't know, going for a walk, or going for a jog, or doing some exercise, or just sitting, laying on the couch, watching TV, reading a book. So I think, yeah, that's something that we struggle with as a founder, or as a person who is working on a new idea and trying to bring something to life. But yeah, that's something that I've been struggling with, to be honest. I know these concepts, I know that I should do this, but again, when I sit with my laptop and work on this, I I kind of realize that I've spent way too much time on it, and then I just. But yeah, that's been the gist
Man,
of my week. Yeah.
that is something really nice to mention, and
Yeah.
that is like doesn't mean that we're doing well in our careers. We have everything under control, and so I just want to pause on that because in the kind of personalities that we have, and I think that I relate with you, and also that's why we have certain commonalities in our life. Is like when we decide to go on something, we go
Yeah.
full on board, and then
Yeah.
we go like like the horses with those covers that they just
Yes.
need to go straight,
The
and then
horse's vision. Yeah.
nothing doesn't matter. But last year I faced a lot of family health situations and with a family member, and
Yeah.
so it made me to realize like sometimes I use this work to be able to disconnect from the situation as well.
Yeah.
So even though that I want to make this done, but actually I realized that it was a coping mechanism to
Hmm.
don't deal with this. So
Hmm.
I think that the things that we create are amazing,
Yeah.
and then the things that we are able to achieve there are amazing, but at the same time we need to connect to us what is important. That's why I took one step back and redefine what was important for me at
Yeah.
Excel MBI, in my work, in my personal life. And
Hmm.
this thing that we're doing nowadays is just a reflect on that. So my mission is to help people to make more with data. So
Yeah.
this is just another activity that we do that. There
Yeah.
are times that I do it for free, there are times that I charge for that. I try that I
Hmm.
do webinars, blogs, posts, and so many things that allows me to achieve that goal. But when you
Yeah.
have that goal clear, those nights that you spend long hours in front of the computer, you always remember that person that probably will be benefit of the things that you're creating. So if you're creating something that is really meaningful for you, for example, you say you are doing a budgeting app.
Yes.
So if you see in perspective, people are struggling with money every month.
Yeah.
So people they have challenges to pay their bills every month.
Yeah.
So the thing that you're doing, you are helping those people to
Oh,
be able to.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
So in that way, it turned to be I need to create this an app to be millionaire. It
Yeah.
turned to be something like actually I have a mission here. It's
I do.
something I have
Yeah. Yeah.
a commitment. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is why I think is I would just want to pause on that. So if you want to add
Yeah.
something on that.
Yeah, the whole idea of this app is because I have personally also struggled maintaining like a good financial stability. We because when we are immigrants, we come to a new country on a study visa. We've got loans back in our country for education, and we come here, we do part-time jobs, we are studying as well. And then, my story, as soon as I graduated, the COVID lockdown happened, and for 2 years, the market was really bad. So in those situations, things like having a good financial stability means a lot, you know. And there are still people who live paycheck to paycheck, and the whole idea of why this app needed to exist is there are other apps as well in the market. There are very good apps in the market, but I think financial knowledge and financial wisdom needs to be very simple, so that everyone can do it or have it. And by this app, I'm trying to bring that simplicity to everyday spender, and people's life, so they can spend without thinking about how the next 10 months, 10 days, or the next rest of the
How the
month will
cash
look
flow
like,
will be working in
how
your
the cash flow
finances.
will be working, correct, and before you buy anything, you should have a clear understanding of whether you can afford this today or not. Whether you're so so that is the whole idea, is to bring that financial wisdom and financial knowledge to everyday person, and not in a way that complicates things, and not in a way that overcomplicates the budgeting. It's a very simple thing when you look at it, and yet people struggle to do budgeting. Or I have the survey that I've been doing is, most of the people, they either just check their balances or either use a Excel template or Excel spreadsheet. So when you're in the market and when you want to buy something, not every time will you have access to that spreadsheet. One, you'll have to do mental math. Okay, this month my rent is still due, my water bill is still due. So if I buy this today, how much will I left be with? Will it be enough to cover my bills and future expenses or commitments that I have? So that simplicity, or avoiding that mental math, is what I'm trying to achieve. So you can be confident in your financial decisions, and you can go ahead and say, okay, yeah, this is what I have in the market. This is what I the app is showing me. that this is how much I can spend today without worrying about the bills and the budgets and everything. And everything is taken care of in the app. So it calculates how much your upcoming bills are, how much your budget commitment is. So for groceries, like for example, you have given X number of amount for the rest of the month. So it calculates that, and everything is been calculated. And after that, it gives you a number, which is like, yeah, this is $1,000. Go spend it in any way you want. So that is the confidence that comes when you have a clear financial wisdom or financial knowledge of where you stand, and that financial knowledge and that wisdom should be simple. It shouldn't be complicated. So I'm trying to like simplify that so that it is accessible to everyone, and everyone can make better financial decisions with their life and with their money. Yeah, but thanks for asking that. It's good to talk about it. I love talking about it. And that's
Nice.
that's the why behind the app.
Yeah.
Like we discuss the why needs to be strong. My why has always been for every project that I've been with, I've been involved in. The why has always been trying to help more and more people. So with Data Over Coffee, it's again, the why is trying to make data concepts simpler for people out there. With the budgeting app, it's like trying to make financial knowledge and financial wisdom simpler for people out there.
Nice.
So that's the why behind it. Good, cool.
Thank you for sharing that. I just want to continue the discussion, but just link this together is because it's like I would like to everyone watching this episode have the challenges now or within some time on how to manage money, because that means it's something good because you have money flowing in. So if you've been struggling to find a job, I just want to keep sharing you these skills, because when you get to the point that it's hard to manage money, so this is the time that probably Arjun apps will work for you, or even before. But I just want to say, like, we are looking to give you opportunities as well. So if we can give you those insights, means that it's something that you can take on board. And this is based on research, to be fair. And this is what the number says. It's not something that I just say that it could be a good thing. There you go. You have activated Siri, or
yeah. I don't know. It just automatically.
I just say the keyword, but together on that, I just want to say, like, we cover certain skills, technical skills that you need to have to become a success data analyst. But more than to be a success data analyst is to be someone that the skills are required in the market. So I don't want to teach you in Excel and BI, I don't want to teach you things that are out of date because they are just easy to me. So, and also the other thing that I always tend to look for complex topics. I wanted to teach machine learning. I just saying before, I've been applying a lot with automation and agentic AI, but I feel like I will come back to the basic, because last year I did bootcamps on data analytics and storytelling with data and business performance. This year I'm coming back to the basic. So now in March, probably by the time that you're watching this video will be happening already, I will have in 2 courses, SQL and Python together in March. And then in April or May, I will have Excel Advanced in Power BI. So if you're interested in those topics, you can check my website, excelandbi.com, and those courses should be available by the time that you're watching this. But this is the thing that we're trying to do, is like how we can keep this relevant and how we can keep helping others. So thank you, Arjun, for sharing that. And I think that the skills are important. As a data specialist, we always need to be on top of the things that are happening every day, but also we need to have our foundation right. If you want to learn AI, this is great. That is something that you definitely need to do, but set your foundations right. with SQL, Python, advanced
Excel.
Excel, storytelling with data,
Yeah.
and time management, like even
100%.
project management. So those are the things that it will remain. And
Yeah.
there's a someone say me this phrase, but I don't remember from where he picked it. He said like things that in the market, things that exist for so long, they plan to be remain for always. And this is something that is like with SQL. Can you
Yeah.
believe it's nearly 50 years since SQL has been burned, and probably similar with Excel?
Yeah.
And these things will just remain. So even though that you're watching this in 10 years time, probably
Mm.
you'll tell me that Excel is in asteroids nowadays, but it's still that spreadsheet that we still see nowadays. That I would
Yeah.
love to see what is happening with Excel and those tools within 10 years. And then I hope that you can find this insightful for you. I will be publishing this research that I have done in a few weeks' time in my blog, which is excelinbi.com/blog. And then you will find more information about this research that I have done. And also there you can see a video that I prepared to analyze in the market. But get the foundations right. Skills on top, it can be many, as any as you want, as any as it feels interesting for you. Many organizations will ask you for cloud computing and that sort of stuff. That is something that you definitely need to know, but get the foundation right, because when you jump into the cloud, for example, you will see that, oh, I know this already. I know this already. I know this already is because you got the foundations right. That is just want to close up with the concept of discussion today.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you.
Um,
We haven't finished yet. We still have a few minutes more to go.
yeah.
But I just want to finish that concept. So I hope that it got clear for you, or if you have any question about that, Arjun.
Yeah. Just one thing I wanted to check with you before we wrap up today's session is, like we've mentioned that these skills like advanced Excel or SQL or data storytelling, not actually data storytelling, but advanced Excel and SQL, let's just take these two, or Power BI, for example. These are foundational, right? So these are 100% needed and are the core of the skill set that you need to be a good data analyst. When somebody is maybe getting into the data analysis role or field, and they don't have the foundation ready yet, do you think they should go one tool at a time, like master the advanced Excel first and then move to SQL and then move to Power BI? Or do you think they should go in parallel and start learning all three simultaneously so that they can kind of understand the concepts together and how they are interconnected? What's your take on that?
I think that it depends on the stage that you are. I've seen people just finishing their master in
Yeah.
data analytics, but they doesn't know SQL.
Hmm.
And it feels like I thought it was something that of course we'll be teaching there, but in the way how they use SQL is to just pull certain data, use some information. Instead, I would like people to practice on
Yeah.
SQL and resolve business cases with SQL,
Hmm.
not just learning the programming language itself.
Yeah.
And coming back to your question, I think that if you finish your master, for example, and then you want to be just ready to the job market, or just you've been trying to find hard to get a job, or when you jump into your first job, you've been finding hard to get on top of that, I would suggest you that just to get a practical experience as the courses that I do with SQL and Python. So this is the problem. This is how we resolve it with SQL. This
Yeah.
is the problem. This is how we resolve it with Python. I don't think that you need to learn every single command in SQL or Python. I just need to get I think that it's super relevant to get someone to get the mindset how to use this tool. Do you remember that
Right.
once you told me that you were learning Python, you say, I told you, get a project, and then Python it will become just a tool for you to fix it. So you can definitely start with SQL and Python at the same time, for example. But if you need to have, of course, certain basis understanding of that. But then if I say you want to get a job in 3 months, so you can do it in a month, and then pick up Mondays and Monday for SQL and Thursday for Python. This is how I normally, when I'm doing certain trainings on their overlap, you take it just as a subject in the university. So Mondays you have geography, and then on Thursday you have maths, for example. So that's just the way how I will take it. But as I say, it's really important for you to get practical experience. So if you want to check more on that, you can go to my website and constantly creating new courses and new ways to learn, and also do one-on-one sessions. If you get struggling in a certain project, I can help you with unblock of what you're stopping now. I have been helping people from many organizations that they've been feeling that their jobs could be at risk, and then they need a hint. So I've been able to give them a hint confidentially, and then supporting them and to be able to deliver the project or the thing that they got stuck. So that is even make me recognize more the roles that we have. So if someone is struggling to their role, sometimes you don't have that workmate to give you a hint. So we can be that person. So if you have certain experience, you can also be that person to someone else. Sometimes we feel that everything needs to be so professional and not working in that company, but that it will mean a lot for someone. So if you ever get stuck in a project in data and then this feel over your head, and then you just want to get some information around, there are thousands of millions of YouTube videos, but I think the people interaction is still so important. And,
100%. Yep.
This is what
Perfect.
I want to share with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you so much, Ramon. So today's session was, again, like always, it's been very helpful and insightful. We learned what the key skills are, even in 2026, how SQL and advanced Excel rule the skill set that is needed for data analysts. And those are the key core skills that every data analyst, or not even a data analyst, I mean, everyone working in IT industry or as an analyst, maybe a test analyst
with
or
data.
data
Yeah.
analyst. Yeah, anyone working with data should have at least basic understanding of SQL and Power BI and Excel. Excel is the most common. But yeah, so those are the main skills. And then you have data storytelling of how you present your data to the stakeholders and key parties involved. And then you have, what was the other one that I wrote? How you prioritize your tasks. So that is one key skill that you need to have. You should be able to say no, because when you're working in a role, you have 1,000 things to do and you can't do everything at once. So prioritization helps you understand what is important and what needs to be done first and what comes next, and so on and so forth. And if anybody else brings you another task and you don't have that capacity, then you should be able to say no. You can't just take everything.
Your play has capacity.
Exactly. Yeah. So those are the few things. Python is the another tool or another language that you need to learn when in data analyst role. So that is one thing that you should learn. And I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, focus on
thank you so much, Ramon, for
just
today's
focus on the foundations, and on top you can add the tomato sauce, the mayonnaise, and everything that you want to put on top. But
and your pizza
foundation is the importance. Okay.
Yes, correct. All right, perfect. We'll wrap today's episode here. It's been almost 1 hour. Thank you so much, Ramon, for your time, and thanks everybody for listening to our podcast. Keep supporting, keep learning, and we will see you in the next one.
Thank you very much, Arjun. See you, everyone. Thank you for joining. See you later. Bye.